What's going on with my shrubs? Is this brown patch in my lawn? Is Kickstart safe to use on my jalapeno plants? Folks, I've got answers to these questions and more coming up on Garden Sense. Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, I hope that all the guys out there had an amazing Father's Day this past weekend. I know I did. It was very relaxing, and that is just the way I like it. Now, this last week we have gotten a lot of emails. Again, we can always tell when the weather's getting nice in certain areas because those emails really start to flood in, and this past week was no exception. So we selected 4 emails for today's video podcast. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump right in. The first question is from Gary. Tim, I'm starting to see brown dying patches on these evergreen shrubs. Any suggestions? All right, so when it comes to brown patches like this in evergreens, it's usually one of 2 things. It's either going to be insects or it's going to be some type of a disease. Now, you didn't mention anything about insects, bugs flying around. So my guess is naturally that it's going to be a disease that the evergreen is fighting. So this is actually what we would do. The first thing I would do is prune off the dead and dying branches. They are not going to come back. So go ahead and prune those off to help protect the rest of the shrub. Then what you want to do is head over to rosensonline.com and pick up a bottle of Fruit Tree Spray Plus. This is a really effective broad spectrum fungicide, and you're going to want to put that down over all of the shrubs there as quickly as possible. Then what you need to do is make sure that it's getting properly fed. And so if you haven't already put it down, make sure that you put down an application of Plant Trust. Plant Trust is a fertilizer specifically geared towards trees and shrubs, and evergreens absolutely love it. So give it some nutrition to help kind of revive it a little bit. And then what I would definitely recommend is put down an application of Kickstart once a week for the next 4 weeks. The reason we do this is we want to strengthen that root system so that it can take in more of that Plant Trust nutrition. In addition, it's going to help that shrub fight off some of the stress that it has just received from that pruning, the stress that the disease is causing it. And so obviously when you build up the strong root system, it's just going to help that tree fight off future diseases, but also help bring it back a lot quicker. So prune off the dead or dying stuff, give it some Fruit Tree Spray Plus, give it some Plant Trust, and then finish it off once a week with an application of Kickstart for the next 4 weeks, and I think you're going to see that shrub bounce back pretty quickly. The next question is from Marcia. Tim, what can I put down to stop this from spreading? I don't know whether it's red thread or brown patch, or are they the same? I just put down my June application of Turf Trust. So to answer your question, first of all, red thread and brown patch are very different diseases. They look very different. Red thread actually has a reddish hue. It's actually a fungus that is going to grow typically on top of the blades of grass, to the point where if you get down close, it'll actually look like they're small red, like angel hair spaghetti strands of this fungus spread across the leaves of the grass. If you can actually get a rake and rake it up, you'll actually see like that clump of fungus. So this does not look anything like that. This is definitely a brown patch. And so what I would recommend to control it is Bio-Advanced Fungus Control for Lawns. It's available over at Rosens Online. Look, brown patch is very, very common at this time of year. So, again, there are products out there like the Fungus Control for Lawns that'll help clear it right up. So head over to Rosens Online, put down that application. But again, going back to your first question, yes, it is definitely brown patch. It is not red thread. If you go ahead and go to Google Images and look up red thread disease, you will see how very different both of these lawn diseases are. The third question is from Joe. Greetings, Tim. I did what you suggested with the image after letting the weeds develop leaves for more surface area, and then mowed a while afterwards. The dandelions have been reduced, but we now have Creeping Charlie spreading in the area. What might you suggest for that? Okay, so the product that I would actually recommend is Image All-in-One Weed Killer. I would just put down a second application. First of all, Creeping Charlie is really, really hard to kill. It's a very difficult and hardy weed, so it comes back very, very quickly. However, based on your email and some previous instructions that we've even given here on the program about letting your weeds grow out, get a little bit bigger so that there's more surface area for the chemicals to land on the leaves, my guess is that when you put down the chemical, it was getting soaked up and landing on all of those broadleaf weeds that were much taller, and there probably wasn't too much of that chemical that got down to the soil surface. Well, that's where Creeping Charlie really lives, as it crawls around, along the ground there. So that's actually what I would recommend, is read the label, make sure that you wait, I think it's 30 days, wait those 30 days, mow your lawn, then put down another application of Image. And again, I want you to mow the lawn because now we want to take down some of those other broadleaf weeds so we can ensure that the chemical found in Image gets down to the soil surface and actually is going to land on Creeping Charlie. So obviously you can pick another bottle up over at Rosen's Online if you don't have any left, but if you do have some left, I would definitely just plan on making your second application after you've waited the allotted time. The final question for today is from Grace. Hi Tim, I've just purchased some Kickstart for use on lawn and planting beds. Is it safe for vegetable plants as well? I have some jalapeno plants and herbs I grow every year in pots. Yes, Kickstart is perfectly safe to use for your vegetables, and I know we addressed this in an episode of Garden Sense a couple of weeks ago. But the reason I wanted to address it again is because you listed potted plants specifically. So here's actually what you want to do to use Kickstart. You want to take an ounce of that concentrate from the Kickstart bottle and put it into a gallon of water. So what I typically do is just run to the store and get a bottle of spring water, get one of those gallon jugs, or if you have an old milk jug or something like that, fill it up with your tap water, whatever you're most comfortable with. Add 1 ounce, which is about 2 tablespoons worth of that concentrate right to that full gallon, and then shake it up really well. And then use that gallon to feed your plants really until you run out of it. So what you want to do is just simply use it as a soil drench. I would actually, use it and feed your plants once a week. If you use that solution once a week, your jalapenos, your herbs, they're going to grow really, really strong because the root systems are going to be very, very strong. Obviously, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. But yes, Kickstart is safe on your vegetables, just like it's safe on your lawns, your trees, your shrubs, and your flowers. Okay, everybody, just a real quick final thought here before we wrap up this week's video podcast. Folks, as another reminder, if you're following our lawn calendar, then you know that middle of June, we tell you to put down a second application of Turf Trust. Well, the time is now. And fortunately for you, we have our annual summer stock-up special going on right now over at rosensonline.com. Now, if you've never purchased a summer stock-up, it's really, really simple. We bundle 3 bags of Turf Trust fertilizers. We put a discount on the price, and it qualifies for free shipping. It's available in both the 10,000 square feet of coverage and the 5,000 square feet of coverage. It's available in both the maintenance fertilizer as well as the starter formula. So, folks, if you need to fertilize your lawn right now, and we highly recommend that you do, head over to rosensonline.com and take advantage today. Folks, I also want to remind you, I talked a lot about Kickstart. Folks, this is a very versatile product. It's really, really important that you are integrating it into your lawn care, into your garden care, and yes, into your vegetables care. So head over to rosensonline.com and pick up Kickstart. It's going to strengthen the root system. It's going to make your plants just that much more healthy. It's available in a single bottle. You can buy it in the case. We've been selling a number of cases in recent weeks, which is great to see. So make sure that you head over to rosensonline.com and pick up a couple of bottles of Kickstart. You'll be very, very glad that you did. Folks, as always, if you have questions, make sure you send them directly to me. My email is tim@rosensonline.com. We respond to each and every email that comes our way. You need to give me at least 48 hours to respond. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit longer than that, depending on the sheer volume of emails that we get each and every week. But your questions are important to us, and obviously they help us build the show each week, so keep them coming. Folks, as always, thank you so much for spending time with us this week. It really does mean a lot. I hope you folks have an amazing rest of the week. God bless.